Okay, let's get started then. So good morning, everyone. So let's still do our usual warm up. So still starting off with marching on the spine, whatever you like, but try to stand a little bit taller for the chest and a little bit wider for the shoulders. Okay, and while we're doing that, let's just move our neck side to side. Okay, still trying to take deep breaths into our belly area in whatever fashion you prefer. Okay, so don't worry about like breathing in when or breathing out when. Okay, just making sure you're taking deep breaths in and out. Okay, and let's go up and down. Okay, and let's go in a little bit of a circle. Okay, so just do a very slow, gentle circle, kind of looking kind of all the way around, maybe slightly glancing up. Okay, go as slow as you need to. Okay, and then just the other way around. Okay, so just remember the easier way to do a warm up for the joints is just up and down, side to side, and do a circle. Okay, so let's do it for the rest of the spine. So once again, up and down. Okay, so slouching a little bit. Okay, this time maybe breathing out is easier. Breathing in. Okay, bring the chest up. Okay, so going up and down with the bottom of the spine. Okay, let's go side to side. Okay, so just kind of rotating our trunk. Okay, your feet can be just doing whatever you feel comfortable. Okay, and let's do a circle. So this one might be a little bit harder. So you can imagine you can either cross your hands or you can focus on your chest area and just trying to almost do a circle. So you're trying to bring the chest sideways a little bit, downwards a little bit, kind of do a scooping motion, I guess, downwards, and then push your chest up. Okay, just take this very gently. Don't force yourself to go too low. Okay, but imagine draw a circle with our chest. Okay, you can always change direction. Okay, but try to draw almost like a more circular circle, I guess. Okay, so there's some areas that we might be a little tighter in. Okay, let's go to the shoulders. Okay, so once again, kind of front to back or up and down. Okay, start off with smaller motion first probably, and see if you can reach a little high up. Okay, and reach a little further back. Usually thumbs up behind us, it's a little easier. Okay, and then thumbs going backwards as you reach back. Okay, and you can keep your feet moving in some ways if you can. Okay, and then side to side. Okay, so you can cross the arms first. So once again, smaller motion first. When you feel comfortable, see if you can open your palm, straighten your wrist, elbows out, try to reach a little further back. Okay, maybe give yourself a bigger hug. Okay, and now let's go in a circle. Okay, let's focus on the elbows. Okay, so we grab elbows further down towards the hips. Get the elbows closer together. Get the elbows high up to the side. Okay, and back down again. Okay, so drawing a full circle with our elbows. Okay, feel free to switch directions anytime you want. Okay, but see if you can draw a fuller circle all the way around. So maybe get your elbows a little closer. Get your elbows and your shoulders as well, a little lower down, a little further back, and a little higher up. Okay, if there's any pain, avoid that area. Okay, but the areas that you find you have having trouble reaching, so maybe upwards for a lot of people, you might have to spend a little more time in those areas. Okay, and then on to the elbows. Okay, so once again, same idea, up and down, side to side in a circle. Okay, so up and down first. Okay, let's incorporate the wrist as well. So try to point your fingers back. Okay, and then make a fist up towards the elbows. Okay, so opening up and then closing. Okay, side to side, elbows together, or sort of side to side. Okay, and then keeping your elbows relatively close to the body and just try to push your thumbs back. Okay, then inwards. Okay, and now let's go in a circle. Okay, so try to keep your elbows in the same place. Okay, but move your hands around, or you'll try to draw a circle with your wrist. Okay, same idea, but reaching into the armpits. So shoulders up a little high up, elbows a little high up first. Okay, reaching into the armpits and then out. Your entire arm is kind of rotating a little bit. Okay, onto the wrist. Okay, so make a soft fist. Okay, and you're painting with your knuckles. Okay, so you're painting the wall of your knuckles. You're leading up and down with your wrist. Okay, side to side. And once again, you're leading with the wrist. Okay, so you might feel a little bit of an opening on the leading side, I guess. Okay, and then circle. So this one, imagine your knuckles are stuck in place and you're just drawing with your wrist again. Okay, so it might take a little bit of a control. You can even literally push it against a wall, try to keep your knuckles in the same place. Okay, by trying to move your wrist around your knuckles. Okay, fingers up and down, side to side. Okay, let's go in a circle, pushing our fingers together, circling each finger around each other, trolling our thumbs, trolling each other's fingers. Okay, while keeping maybe our legs moving if we can. Okay, also kind of learn to split the attention from kind of being able to walk and do something with our hands or arms at the same time. It's just a little bit of brain training in a way. Okay, and let's check things out. Okay, let's on to the lower body. So same idea, front to back first. Okay, so feet maybe a little bit wider than the hips. Pushing hips back. Okay, feeling a stretch behind. Okay, and then let's make it more complicated this time. So take a step forward and push the hips forward. Okay, going back in the same position. So feet together. Okay, pushing hips back. Okay, other leg forward this time. Okay, and try to push the hips forward while keeping the back leg kind of straight. Once again, use a wall, use a chair for balance if you need to. Okay, so from this angle, you're pushing your hips back, feeling the stretch behind the legs. Okay, taking a step forward with one foot. Okay, and then pushing hips forward until you feel a stretch in the front of the back leg. Okay, and once again, going back. Okay, taking a step forward, pushing hips forward. Okay, once again, try to feel a stretch in the front of the, I guess you can call it the straight leg or the back leg. Okay, let's do it 2 more times. Okay, so 1 more per leg, more or less. Okay, so hips back, leg forward, hips forward. Okay, step back, and then hips back. Okay, other leg, step forward, hips forward. Okay, and then step back. Okay, and then hips back. Okay, let's go side to side. Okay, so let's go just the hips first. So side to side. Okay, and then a little bit more complicated. You can take a step out. Okay, and then push the hips kind of backwards and sideways. Okay, so not just to the side, but a little bit backwards. So you're kind of pushing your butt out. Okay, and then taking a step back. Okay, so step out on the other side. Once again, kind of push the hips back and sideways at the same time, feeling a stretch in the inside of the straight leg. Okay, and then coming back. Okay, how wide you step is completely up to you. If you want a deeper stretch, you can kind of step a little wider. Okay, but you probably have to bend your knees a little more for that. Okay, remember to have your weight kind of shifting backwards by pushing your butt back and to the side. Okay, let's do 1 more time per side. Okay, so step and then diagonally backwards. You can use your hands forward to keep your balance. Okay, or even hold onto a chair, whatever you need. Okay, and then let's go in a circle. Okay, so kind of just all the way around. Okay, so remember you're leading with the hips, so less so the head. So you're not spinning your head around, you're trying to push the hips kind of all the way around. Your head is kind of in the same place. Okay, so move your hips, not so much the head. Okay, but once again, go only as far as you feel comfortable. Okay, same idea with the hips. Let's go forward and back a little bit. So this one will be easier if your hands holding onto something. Okay, so front to back first. Okay, see if you can squeeze your hips out, squeeze your butt muscle a little bit. So try to almost reach backwards towards the floor as you swing back. Okay, and then side to side. Okay, so once again, imagine holding onto something for balance. Okay, side to side. Okay, and then in a circle. Okay, so kind of draw a circle all the way around. So once again, imagine holding something and actually going to hold on to something. Okay, so just sweep your foot all the way around as you feel comfortable. Do it in a bigger fashion. Draw a bigger circle all the way around, and once again, switch direction anytime you want. Okay, but imagine try to draw a fuller, I guess, half circle. Okay, same idea on the other side, front to back. Okay, kind of pay attention to what is moving and what is not moving. Okay, but we're trying to move more of our hips. Okay, side to side. Okay, and then into a circle or half circle. Okay, so you can do it smaller first. Okay, once again, pay attention to which area you have trouble moving in. Okay, pay attention to what is moving. So am I swinging my entire body around, or am I able to move kind of almost just the hips? Just the hip I'm trying to move. Okay, and once again, switch direction whenever you want. Okay, so opposite hip might be a little bit tired. Okay, onto the knee. Okay, so up and down first again. So kind of just forward and back. Okay, let's switch to the other side as well. Okay, kind of side to side, not quite moving the knee side to side, but it's actually the hip that's moving. Okay, but same, we can just go along with it. Okay, and same idea. If you want to kind of practice your balance at the same time by seeing if you can use a little bit less of your hands. Okay, and then onto a circle. So see if you can kind of almost keep your knee in the same place, and you try and draw a circle with your foot. Okay, once again, see if you can draw a fuller circle. Okay, and switch leg whenever you want. Direction as well. So my left leg doesn't really go out this way as well. So I probably need to spend a little more time on this hip for this. Okay, on to the ankles. Okay, so this one may be a little simpler. We can just lift your foot. Okay, up and down. Okay, once again, you can practice the balance at the same time. Okay, but safely. Okay, and then see if you can go side to side. Okay, so without moving without moving anything from the knee up, I guess. See if you can point your toes a little more inwards, point your toes a little more outwards. Okay, and lastly, see if you can draw a full circle all the way around. Okay, see if you can draw a bigger circle. Okay, so it's actually not just the ankle moving, your calf area, the bones actually rotate a little bit as well. Okay, and let's switch sides and do the same thing, up and down, side to side in a circle. Okay, so finding a balance first. Okay, up and down. Okay, so see if you can don't just go through the motion, but see if you can maybe reach a little bit high up. See if you can point your toes a little further down. Okay, maybe find an area that you might be a little tighter in and see if you can expand those areas maybe a little bit. So just a tiny bit of effort. See if you can reach just a little further kind of inwards, reach a little further out. Okay, once again, go in a full circle. Once again, see if you can put a little bit of effort. See if you can just expand the circle by just a tiny bit. Okay, and then lastly, toes. Okay, so up and down, you can just think of the toes going up or scratching the floor. Okay, side to side, a little harder, but you can imagine scooching your toes together. See if you can, in some ways, spread your toes apart a little bit. Okay, this takes a little bit of practice. Okay, and then for the circle, mostly just think of moving your big toe. So imagine you kind of draw a big toe in a circle, so try to push it inwards, lift it up, put it together with the other toe. Okay, and then kind of other way around. Okay, and the second part is just the rest of the toes. Okay, so the rest of the toes, if you can keep your big toe on the ground, you probably really can't really see well from the video, but imagine just your big toe on the ground, try to lift your toe, other four toes, spread them out and bring it back in. And if you can go in other direction, I can't really do that well either. Okay, but just kind of play around your toes a little bit, see if you can move them kind of in a circle. Okay, and then just shake everything out. Okay, so hopefully everyone may be feeling a little warmer by now. Let me grab my watch. So you can get started with our aerobics. Okay, so remember, we're just trying to get our heart rate up a little bit. Okay, just feeling a little bit out of breath. Okay, or feeling your heart rate going a little bit faster. Okay, once again, how fast or how slow is completely up to you. Okay, but we're just trying to elevate our heart rate for about 10 minutes at a time. Okay, so same, you can move any way you want as usual. Okay, but try to speed up a little bit until you feel like you're maybe just a little out of breath. You can still talk, but maybe you feel a little bit out of breath. So you can't say a long sentence. Okay, so we're just going to slowly ramp up. Okay, once again, how fast this is completely up to you. Okay, feel free to take a break at any point as well. Okay, so I'm just going to slowly go a little bit faster. Okay, and once again, I'm just ramping up a little bit for maybe the first minute or so. Okay, it might take a little longer to really get a heart rate up as well. Okay, let's go side to side and then we'll make it a little more complex afterwards. Okay, so just a few steps side to side. Okay, still moving arms or legs in a fashion that feels comfortable to us. Okay, so now let's add a little bit of complexity. Okay, so you can think of this as one count left, one count to the right. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go 2 count to the left, one side, 1 count back, 2 count to the as well. So it'll be kind of 1, 2, okay, 1 count back, 2 count to that direction again. So you're slowly moving this way, and then 1 count back. Okay, so once you run out of room, go the other way. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 1 back to that direction, 1, 2, okay, and then 1, okay, and then 1, 2, okay, and then 1. Okay, so 2 one way, back 1 counts but the other way. So you can just do it at your own pace. Okay, but see, you can keep count to yourself. So once again, we're kind of using kind of our brain a little bit, and then coordinating with our movements. Okay, so just a little bit of brain-body connection. So 2 count and then 1 count. Okay, so let's do the same thing front to back. Okay, so kind of orientate yourself any way that you feel comfortable. So I have more room sideways, so I'm gonna go this way. Okay, start off with just 1 count front to back. Okay, whenever you're ready, I'm gonna go 1, 2, back 1, 1, 2, back 1. Okay, and then since I ran out of room, I'm gonna go, you can go backwards or you can turn around. Okay, I'm gonna go 1, 2, forward 1, 1, 2, forward 1, 1, 2, forward 1. Okay, so just do this for a little bit. Okay, so just at your own pace. Okay, keep your own count. Okay, I'm going to choose to turn around. Okay, and you can speed this up if you want. So if you go more quickly, it'll be 1, 2, back 1, 1, 2, back 1. So it's also quick shifts in direction, a little bit of almost agility training. Okay, but how fast it is completely up to you. So a lot of times when we see maybe the stuff that professionals do, the professional athletes, I mean, you can always scale it down. We don't need to do exactly the same thing, but they have kind of their own reasons as to why they do what they do. But we can sort of have fun and try to adapt those things as well. Okay, so let's change our step a little bit. Okay, so instead of marching, we're going to step, just move one leg front to back a little bit. Okay, so kind of just step forward and back a little bit. So only one leg is moving. Okay, so you can start off with very small motion. Okay, or you can do bigger steps. Okay, so the standing leg is probably the one that's getting tired. Okay, and let's switch leg. Okay, it's kind of stepping forward with the other leg. Okay, arms, whatever you need to do to stay balanced. Okay, let's switch a little bit, so add a little bit of rotation to it this time. Okay, so let's switch legs first. So instead of just straight up and back and forth, okay, see if you can open up the hips a little bit as you step back. Okay, so your arms might have to coordinate in some ways to keep your balance. Okay, but I'm kind of opening the hip, my toes is pointing a little bit sideways. Okay, I'm opening up, so opening up and then coming back. Okay, and let's switch other leg whenever you're ready. So if I go a little slower, it will look something like this. So once again, it doesn't have to be big motion, it could be just small motions. Okay, now let's bring the two, you can add one more step to it. So instead of step and then back, step forward. So you'll be facing sideways at the end. Okay, it'll be step, step. Okay, so it'll be step up, step together, okay, step back, step back. Okay, so you can kind of keep looking forward. Sometimes that makes people less dizzy. Okay, so maybe a little bit of, almost a little bit of a dance step. Okay, you can use, once again, you can be just smaller, so I don't have to be directly pointing sideways. It can be just a little bit sideways. Okay, but if you can, see if you can go on almost a bigger step. Okay, so if you can also try to speed things up a little bit. Okay, and then let's just try to go back into a step. Okay, but we'll be just stepping wide and then stepping inwards. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of see by the lines in the floor, I'm stepping wider and then stepping narrow. Okay, so let's try get this pattern down first. Okay, and slowly let's see if we can make it a little bit faster. Okay, so once again, coordinating our body and mind is good. Okay, but we're still trying to keep our heart rates a little bit faster, which we need to. So we need to move a little bit faster to do so. Okay, and now let's switch which leg we're stepping out with first. So you probably notice that you always step out with your left first, always step out with your right. Okay, see if you can switch to the other leg. Okay, so before stepping outward with my left first, so now I'm stepping out with my right first. Okay, and then now let's try to speed this up a little bit again. When you got that pattern down. Okay, once again, it can be very small steps. Okay, as long as you're stepping a little wider and then stepping a little more narrow. Okay, now let's go back to the forward and back with that one leg. Okay, now let's try to exaggerate the up motion a little bit. Okay, so you're lifting your knee a little bit higher. So this one, possibly have a chair around. Okay, because we're kind of standing on one leg. Okay, so I'm stepping back, and then instead of stepping forward, I'm lifting my knee up just a little bit higher than before. Okay, once again, the standing leg is the one that's getting tired. your arms, whatever you need to stay balanced. Okay, whenever you get time, you can switch leg. Okay, so just lifting a little bit higher in front and then stepping back. Okay, so a little slower looks something like this. Okay, and a little faster will look something like this. Okay, so now let's add a little bit of step to it again. So we'll be stepping forward, lift, and going back. Okay, and then stepping forward, lift one knee, and then going back, stepping forward again, lift whatever leg, and then back, stepping forward, lift. Okay, so just at your own pace, just kind of go a little bit forward and back with pretty much a knee at the end. Okay, so how fast you're going, once again, it's completely up to you. Okay, so we're almost there, just 1 minute left. Just a little more coordination today. Okay, so let's try to end off. Let's do the same thing, but sideways almost. So we're gonna be stepping sideways. Okay, so instead of kneeling, you take a step. So you're looking where you're going in the beginning, to going towards, come back, and then step the other way. Turn, look where you were going, come back, and then let's switch direction. So once again, I'm turning my belly button, turning my chest towards where I was moving towards, come back, and then stepping towards our direction. So almost a little bit of agility training again, a little bit of footwork. Okay, finding ways to move that we might not usually do. Okay, but if you need to quickly change it, go in one way, you might step away and then quickly turn, and we'll run that way, move. Okay, and that was 10 minutes. Okay, so let's slow down a little bit first again. Okay, keeping our calves moving, so just to get the return of blood back to the heart more easily. Okay, but let's try to slow down our arms a little bit. Slowing down our breathing a little bit. Okay, and you can always do a talk test, so you can count out loud, see how out of breath you are. Okay, so let's check the time. Okay, right now it's 11:28. Okay, so let's take a 2-minute break and let's come back around 11:30. And we'll get started with our kind of strength training and balance next. Today we are going to be using, actually with body weight and also the bands. Okay, so maybe dig out where you have left it. Okay, so we see everyone in kind of a minute and a half now, I guess. Okay, drink enough water. And if you have any questions anytime, feel free to ask. My recording only record my own voice, okay, so don't worry about being recorded on camera. Okay, no problem. Take care. Okay, so hope everyone is back. So today we're gonna do some type of squatting movement. So remember, squatting is just being able to move kind of hips up and down. Okay, so I think everyone probably got into our squats a little bit already. So we'll just do a slight variation on it. Okay. But just to review first, some key things to keep in mind is that we do want our knees to be tracking over our toes. Okay, so what that means is that if you draw a straight line down, and my knee, it should land roughly within my toes. So this will be inside my toes. This will be maybe way too much on the side. Okay, so just over my toes. Okay, so instead of, and then our back, generally speaking, we want it to be aligned. Okay, so neutral. Okay, so it means if I draw a straight line from my hips to my shoulder to my kind of my ears, it's roughly a straight line. Okay, so this will be rounded. Okay, this will be overly arched. Okay, so roughly in a straight line. Okay, so instead of squatting, generally speaking, we kind of go up and down like this. Okay, today let's change up a little bit so that we are going side to side. Okay, so give me 1 second, just to see. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so sorry, what was it? Back to the squats. Okay, so instead of having our feet kind of parallel to each other or in line each other, we're gonna have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay, so how far back is up to you. So further back you are, the harder it is. So start off just a little bit further back, okay, but still try to push the hips backwards. Okay, so imagine I'm still sitting on a chair, okay, but I can't set my feet kind of in line. I have my foot slightly back, okay, but I still want to push my butt back, okay, and then setting back up. Okay, so what you can imagine is that instead of sitting straight down in the middle of the chair, imagine you're stepping a little out and have your other leg slightly on the side of the chair. Okay, and you're still trying to sit on kind of almost half of the chair, I guess. Okay, and then coming back up. Okay, so what you notice is that the leg that's forward is probably doing a little bit more work. Okay, so let's do maybe 5 on each side. Okay, so if you want to get a chair, you can imagine just once again stepping out to the side a little bit and slightly off to the side of the chair. Okay, and you're just trying to still kind of sit on it and then coming back up. Okay, so that'll be 1. Your hands can still be forward. 2. Okay, so you notice my knees are still tracking over my toes. Okay, I'm still pushing my butt back. Okay, so 3, 4, 5. Okay, and let's switch over to the other position, so other foot back. Okay, so I'm kind of going over to the other leg, or other side of the chair. Okay, once again, you don't have to go too far back, just a little back of the back leg. Okay, so once again, let's do 5 times or so. So we can call this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can still assist with the other leg, but you will find that it's the leg that's forward is the one that's working a little bit harder. Okay, so you can call this almost like a split squat because your legs are kind of split forward and back. Okay, so second one, let's do with the arms. This time, let's almost do a combination of the upper body and lower body. Okay, so we're going to be doing kind of a shorter raise on one side. Okay, so kind of lifting the arms up. Okay, and we're doing almost exact same thing on the opposite leg. Okay, so how we need to set up is that we need to have band on one tail on the floor and we're stepping on it. Okay, and you're gonna put the other end on the other side, or the same side rather. Okay, so the tails are on the same side. Okay, so this one, you probably want to have some sort of chair in front for balance. Okay, but since it's blocking your view, I'm going to put this off to the side, but still imagine holding a chair. Okay, so I'm going to lifting this way with my arms and lifting the opposite way with my leg. Okay, so this one is a little bit harder on balance. Okay, a little bit harder on both the arms and legs. Okay, so make sure that you are holding on to something. So do imagine I'm holding a chair here. Okay, and you don't have to go too high up in the arms or the legs. But let's give it a few try. Okay, so let's call this number 3, 4, okay, and 5. Okay, so this is just a combination of having like doing an arm raise and like a leg raise at the same, but we're doing it at the same time. Okay, let's switch over to the other side. Okay, and let's do the same thing. Okay, so you just want the tail of the band to be on the same side. Okay, so the tail is here, the other side is here. Imagine I'm holding on a chair again, or a desk, or anything, or even a pole. Okay, once again, I'm lifting with the arms and pushing out to the leg kind of at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so be the shoulder and the hip. That's a little bit tough. Okay, so next one, we're going to do a little bit, instead of balance, let's do a little bit of a core. Actually, you know what? Let's do the same position since we're in this split position already. Okay, so we don't need a band, but we might want to change some rack. Okay, so same position as before on a split squat. Okay, so one leg slightly forward, one leg slightly back. Okay, and we would just be reaching in different directions. Okay, so being able to reach almost forward. Okay, reaching maybe off to one side. Okay, and reaching to the opposite side. Okay, maybe reaching downwards towards the floor a little bit. Okay, so I'm bending more from the hips. Okay, so imagine you bend down, pick up something. Imagine maybe reaching backwards a little bit. Okay, so let's do one more time per direction. So be reaching forward, off to one side. Okay, off to the other side. Okay, be downwards a little bit. Okay, and then backwards. Okay, and shake it off, and let's do it other leg forward. Okay, so fairly common position. So if you drop something on the floor, we generally maybe take a step forward and then bend down. So it's just a more exaggerated version of it. So once again, one leg forward, one leg back. Okay, see if you can reach a little bit further than what you would generally do. Okay, maybe reach a little more sideways. Okay, probably I should have something on the side here. I'll have a wall on this side. Okay, and then try to reach the other way. Okay, reaching down. So this is a more common position. Okay, maybe backwards again. Okay, one more time. You can play around with which arm you're reaching for. Maybe turn your body a little bit. Okay, you can reach to the same side, or you can rotate your body a little bit and reach on the opposite arm as the arm that you're moving. Okay, maybe slightly bend one way, slightly bend the other way. Okay, and shake it off. Okay, so let's repeat these things, these 3 exercises one more time. Okay, so first one is a split squat. Okay, so just remember, imagine you're sharing a chair with someone. So you're standing off to one side, the other leg can be slightly kind of off to the side of the chair. I'm going to change the angle a little bit just so you can see what it looks like from the other side as well. Okay, so I'm still pushing my butt back. My back is still in a neutral position. Okay, I'm still pushing my butt back. Okay, but I'm just sitting kind of slightly off axis, I guess you can call it as. Okay, so let's do about 5 to 10 times this time. So I think if you feel comfortable with this, your knees don't hurt. Let's do about 5 to 10 times. Okay, so this number 3, 4, and you don't have to go all the way to the chair. You can just go to here, or if you feel comfortable, you can go a little lower. 4, and this leg, I'm still assisting. 5, so I can still push with the back leg. 6, but I'm also using the front leg. 7, 8. Okay, once again, you don't have to do 10. Okay, make sure your knees don't bother you with this. Okay, and then 10. Okay, shake it off. And we'll do the same thing with the other leg back. Okay, so take as long as you need. Okay, when you feel ready, you can kind of step off to the other side of the chair. Okay, once again, your knees are tracking over the toes. You can widen your sets a little bit for balance. You can use arms kind of reaching forward to keep your balance as well, but try to stand all the way up at the top. 2, 3, 4. You can always glance down to see where your knees are. 5. And you don't have to go down all the way for all 10 reps. You can maybe, I'm feeling a little tired, so I'm going to do a little bit less in the last 5 reps. Okay, so there's 8 for myself. 9, 10. Okay, so you might feel it in the front of the thighs. You might also feel it a little more in the back as well. Okay, so a little bit of a more, maybe a more advanced variation of the squats. Okay, but you can always think exercise is practice, so we're just trying to practice moving in different ways. So if I need to sit in a chair, I can sit on a chair like this. I can sit on a chair maybe a little off to the side. Sometimes I might just sit kind of sideways like that. Okay, just find ways to kind of play around and just practice moving in different ways. Okay, but do pay attention to what your body is feeling. Okay, so the next one is the shoulder raise, combined with the, I guess you can call this a leg raise. Okay, so once again, the tail of the band is on the same side. Have something holding in front of you if you feel like you're a little bit wobbly. Actually, we do want you to become quite stable because we're focusing on most of your muscle training right now. Okay, so we don't want you to have to focus all your energy and focus on balancing. Okay, so do hold on to something if you feel like even if you're a little bit unsteady. Okay, so you're going to raise the arm out on one side, your leg is going to be kicking out the opposite way. Okay, so let's do 5 to 10 times on both sides. Okay, so once again, imagine I'm holding on something in front. Okay, I should probably like get a transparent chair or something like that to make it easy to see. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, your bars, if you don't have it, you can also just reach out, touch the floor, the toes as well, if that's easier. I think I'm at 9. Okay, and 10. Okay, so shake it off a little bit first. Okay, and whenever you're ready, you can switch over to the other side. Okay, so once again, the end of the band is on the same side. Okay, did I actually switch? I think okay, this makes more sense. Okay, so now I'm moving the opposite arm. Okay, so same idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you probably notice I'm not pushing as high up. Okay, so as long as I feel like I'm my muscles are putting in the effort, it's fine, wherever. So you don't have to go all the way up, okay, or all the way out. Okay, just as long as you can feel like you're both working both your arms and your legs. Okay, so I think we're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, your hips are probably more tired than your shoulders. Okay, because you have to kind of balance and kind of lift at the same time. Okay, so shake it out a little bit. Okay, so let's practice the balance one more time. So we're practicing it in this kind of split stance position. Okay, if your feet are too narrow, or if you want to make it harder, have your stance a little more narrow. If you feel like you're unsteady, have your leg a little wider apart. Okay, so I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle. Okay, but I'm trying to keep my feet in the same position and reaching forward. Okay, so on the side, like something like this, reaching forward. Okay, maybe reaching out to the side again. Okay, I'm gonna reach to the same opposite side. Okay, reaching down and right. Okay, you can even reach and a little bit of rotation. Okay, so once again, if you want to make this harder, you can get your stance a little more narrow. Okay, so I'm just going to do right side, left side this time. So I'm reaching my left this time. I'm going to reach to my left, to my right. Okay, to my left again. Okay, and to my right again. Okay, so let's switch which leg is forward. Okay, find a position that might be slightly, that where to put a little bit of effort in, but not to the point where we feel very unsteady. Okay, so this time I'm going to move my right first again. So I'm going to reach for my right. Okay, reaching to my right arm. Reaching to my left, my right arm. Okay, right, backwards. Okay, left, backwards. Okay, move my left next. Okay, so forward again. Towards the left. Okay, towards my right. Okay, backwards to the left. Okay, backwards to the right. So that incorporates a little bit of rotation of the spine, a little bit of twisting and bending. Okay, if you don't have any, if you're not like have really bad, if you don't have really bad osteoporosis, it's fine. Okay, but if you have really bad osteoporosis, then you just don't go all the way there. Okay, but we can still move our trunk slightly. Okay, so let's check the time. We have about 10 minutes left. Okay, so let's do a little bit of stretching to end off. Okay, so let's have a seat first, just to take a break. Okay, so generally still the same types of stretch that we're doing. Okay, so the areas that we are generally tight in, or the muscles that we did use, we want to just stretch out a little bit. Okay, so starting from the neck. Okay, kind of our usual, kind of leaning away from one side, trying to separate the shoulders and the ears. And you can use the hand to create a little more distance. Okay, until you feel a stretch on the side of your neck. Okay, and we're just trying to take deep breaths in and out. Okay, as you take a really big breath, you're going to feel a little more of a stretch because our lungs do also kind of expand upwards a little bit. Okay, so we can use that to our advantage. So 3 to 5 deep breaths in and out. Okay, same thing, but looking down towards the floor. Okay, slowly come back. Pause as long as you need. Okay, when you feel fine, then switch over to the other side. Okay, exact same thing. And same idea, but looking towards the floor. Okay, shoulder stretch. Okay, so this is a classic version where you reach across one arm, reach underneath, okay, and pull the arm towards our chest. Deep breath in and out again. Okay, whenever you want, switch to our side. Reach across, reach underneath, and pull into our chest. Okay, so let's do the hip stretch first. Okay, actually let's do it standing next. So let's stand back up again. Whenever you stand up, just move your legs a little bit. That can help with the sudden change in blood pressure. Okay, so let's stretch the front first. Okay, so this is very similar to the kind of the warm-up that we do. Okay, so we can have our split stance again. Okay, but a little bit wider front to back. Okay, turn your toes forward. Okay, turn your belly button facing forward. Okay, just try to lift your belt buckle up first. Okay, and then a little bit forward, keeping the back leg straight, feeling the stretch in the front of the hips. Okay, deep breath in the nose. Okay, and switch leg whenever you feel like it. Okay, but key idea is that both of your toes are facing forward, your hips are pointing forward, your belly button is facing forward. Okay, lift your belt buckle up towards the ceiling and try to keep the back leg straight as you push the hips forward. Okay, so next one, let's stretch the side of the hips. Slightly more awkward, so if you don't feel comfortable with it, just skip this one. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that we're gonna hold on a chair on one side. You can even, once again, have as many chairs as you want. Okay, so I'm gonna step whatever side for the chair. You're gonna step your foot over the other, so you're gonna step cross your legs pretty much. Okay, so this my left leg. I'm stepping over to the other side. Okay, and I'm pushing my hips kind of backwards and sideways. Okay, so this is my right side. I'm pushing it towards the diagonally backwards towards the right until I feel a stretch on the side of my hips pretty much. So even if you actually, even if you don't cross it, you can probably still feel it. It's just if you cross over, you can maybe have a little more room to work with. Okay, but it's fine if you even hold on this way. You can move your hips a little forward, a little back, see where you feel the most tight in, and maybe hang out in that area a little bit more. Yeah, actually crossing the legs might not be this more room, it's just that you have more weight kind of helping you stretch. Okay, but you can do so without crossing legs. Okay, so same idea, I'm gonna push towards my left this time. Okay, so you can either just kind of do it this way, or you can cross the legs and then just kind of push your hips out and a little bit backwards. Okay, you can kind of move your hips around a little bit, see where you feel the most stretch. Okay, and then coming back up. Okay, checking everything out. Okay, let's just do a body scan and there's a couple of deep breaths. Okay, so notice maybe where you're still tense. Okay, could be the fingers, could be the hands, could be the feet. Okay, so let's try to take a breath in. Okay, shoulders away from the ears, but opening up. Breathing it back out. Okay, try slow down breathing again. So slow breath in. Okay, slow breath out. Okay, keeping our shoulders relaxed. Do the same thing, but looking left and right. Other side, same thing. Okay, slowly notice where you are again. Shake everything out. Okay, so thank you for coming today. So see everyone next week.